Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up the football gods. Oh, my goodness. How's everybody doing this morning? It is Hangover Monday, especially after New Year's Day, and it seemed like the Philadelphia Eagles were hungover yesterday. I just want to remind everybody of something that happened in the offseason here.
10 guys that have done that for it to be an all-star team. Like, you got to have the real cats for it to be an all-star team. You can't just have a bunch of guys.
Well, their
and
kicker,
say,
Jake
oh,
Elliott,
we're an all-star team.
Jason Kelsey, Darius Slay, Javon Hargrave. They were all Pro Bowlers.
But that's not an all-star team.
Yeah.
Though,
Key, if you're going to talk it, though, now, for me, now that you're starting to talk it, Philly, cool. I'm cool with that. Just back it up on the field, man. It's time, especially for Miles Sanders, contract year. Okay, let's go all-star squad. Jalen Hurts, I need to see it. You know, we A.J. Brown,
right?
we need to see it. Like, all right, let's go. It's that time.
I think they have even the score with the Dallas Cowboys within the division. I think that the Washington football what team? Commanders.
Commanders, left hand
I
up.
think they've closed the gap to a degree. The Cowboys getting rid of some of the players in the offseason kind of came down to earth. What Eagles did came up a little bit. What Washington did came up a little bit. So I think this is going to be an interesting division. You know, I think this is going to be a very interesting division in this year's NFL for sure.
I think the Eagles could be the best team in the division, right? Like, that's what you're kind of saying, right? They're right there with the Cowboys. They could be the best team in the division. But when you say you're an all-star team, you're kind of suggesting you could be a Super Bowl contender, right? That's when you go that far. Are you putting a target on yourself saying this, or do people just kind of side-eye this, Key? How, around the league, what are
people side-eyeing and they laughing. They not really – they doing exactly what I did. Like, who's the all-stars? Yeah. Like, when you look at it, if you told me if Jalen Ramsey said this feels like an all-star team, we're going to run it back, then I'd sit there and go, feels like an all-star team.
Yeah.
I'm cool with them.
Different.
I'm cool with them, you know, thinking or being confident that they could be a dark horse to win it. Like, I'm cool with that. You say,
but
you say it once, cool. Now, if you start glowing and keep this whole thing going,
start making T-shirts.
Like, all right, let's calm down.
Yeah.
Let's
Once you start making the T-shirts, that's the
Well,
problem.
one time,
You'll hear
I'm
about
cool
it from
with
your
that.
opponents too. I'm sure the trash talk will begin once this.
Well, all-star team. So here's what we've got this morning, okay? I believe, I'm hoping that I'm correct, but I saw the schedule for Sunday. The good news is it looks like it's a 1 o'clock kickoff for the Commanders, Cowboys, and the Cowboys have something to play for. The thought was the Eagles, with having just to win one game with 3 to go, that they would win one of these and already have the division sewed up. But they choked. It's choked season for the Eagles, and now have to beat a all of a sudden hot New York Giant team that says, we ain't resting nobody. We going after that Eagle ass. There is blood in the water. There is blood in the water, and they are trying to finish him. And they're trying to finish them, knock them out before the playoffs. So it looks like the Cowboys-Commanders game is at 1 o'clock, which is perfect because that means we'll be there early in the morning, setting up, full sunshine, eating chicken wings and having pulled pork subs, then go in and watch the game while it's still light. The weather's forecast, I've seen it from 46 to 49 degrees somewhere, varies a degree. One day it's 47, the next day it's 48, the next day it's 46. It varies by a degree or two. But at the moment, the long-range forecast has decent weather for January. We will be tailgating in the Red Zone lot. If you want to get tickets to see the regular season finale for the Dallas Cowboys and hang out with Joe Boo, there is a post in the community tab with the contact information from Jet Jed Pilgrim of the Commanders. Get the tickets today or tomorrow if you want to be in the same section, section 326. Section 326. I think I said 25, but it's 26. So that way we're all there together, loud, proud, Jobu Sports crew. And let me know how many people are going, because I need to know how many chicken wings we are cooking for this event. So definitely go there. And also, too, we're not charging for the event. We're asking donations to help cover the cost of this, because I got to buy at least 80 pounds of chicken wings and probably about 80 pounds of pulled pork and get the big subs and everything else. So we got a lot to do between now and the game kickoff. But we will be there. Let's make it, let's end the regular season like this. Let's go ahead and bury the Commanders and end up with a 13-win season. Now, the Giants have locked up a spot. The Giants ended up destroying the Colts yesterday. They did to the Colts what you would have thought the Eagles would have done, where the Eagles only won 17-16. And I dare say, here's the problem for the Eagles. I know we're not talking about the Cowboys too much this morning, but we played on Thursday. We got killed on Friday because we did not win in suitable fashion for the talking heads. They said, even though you beat the Eagles the week before, it was only because they had Gardner Minshew. We know you got 2-game win streak and things like that, but it just didn't look good enough. They killed us. They said we were limping into the playoffs. Well, here's the facts. The Eagles currently are on a 2-game lose streak. And if you throw in the game before, they didn't look good against the Bears. They've gone downhill. And here's the rationale of what people have been saying, and Eagle fans have taken, I can't think of the word right now, offense to. Because people said you had a weak schedule. You had a weak schedule, and that's why you got all of those wins. And let's go through that right now. They played the Lions, 38-35. They won. They beat the Vikings 24-7. But you look at the Green Bay Packers and Cowboys that both put 40 burgers on the Vikings. So why is it you only scored 24? You beat the Carson Wentz Commanders 24-8. I don't know, after seeing Carson Wentz play yesterday, if that really counts as a win. Carson Wentz had more interceptions than completions during that game yesterday. So I'm not sure that that's a quality win. Right now, the biggest win you've had is beating the Vikings. You beat the Jaguars 29-21, and you got 3 takeaways from the Jaguars. You only beat them by 8 points, getting the ball 3 times. You beat the Cardinals 20-17. You only scored 20 on the Cardinals? You beat Cooper Rush. So at the moment, you have to say the Minnesota Vikings and beating Cooper Rush are the quality wins for your season. You beat the Steelers, but everybody's beat the Steelers this year, 35-13. You beat the Texans 29-17. And you lost to the Commanders with Tyler Heineke. You beat the Colts 17-16. You beat the Packers 40-33. You beat the Titans 35-10. You beat the Giants 48-22, and they may have a bad taste in their mouth and want to get some revenge. You beat the Bears 25-20. You lost to the Cowboys, getting a 40-burger put on you, and you lost to Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle. You're not an all-star team. And right now, injuries are mounting on your roster. Eagle fans, I probably won't see many of them this week. Here is Philadelphia's own post-game dissection.
We welcome you to Eagles post-game live presented by our friends at Cure Auto Insurance. Happy New Year to you all. Barrett Brooks, Ron Jaworski, Reuben Frank, I'm Michael Barkan. They just cannot make it easy. This could go from one of the greatest Eagles seasons in history to easily, if it's not now already, one of the most frustrating. Let's just leave it at frustrating. But I'm going to throw this out to start the game. We're going to watch the guys come off the field as they now have to win against the New York Giants home. They have to win unless three combinations of factors occur next week and they can back in. But to get the #1 seed and the bye, Nick Sirianni, you got to beat the Giants. You're lucky that the Giants won today big time. Otherwise, it might really be a fight next. Maybe the Giants will rest their guys. But here's the thing. All we heard all week was as if this was a playoff game, Jalen Hurts could have gone. If this was a playoff game, if we really needed him, Jalen Hurts could have gone for the... This was a playoff game. This could have been a playoff game. You could have gone from 1 to 5 based upon this outcome. And Gardner Minshew did not rise to the occasion. He did not meet the moment. Not close to it.
Davis.
All right, I'll shut up for a while. I mean, I never use it. I'm pissed off watching this performance today at home, New Year's Day, wanting this win, needing this win after that Cowboys trek last week.
Yeah, and you know what? Gardner was terrible, but it wasn't just him.
There he is, right there, number 10.
There he is. He wants to kill him.
They didn't show up. They just didn't show up. They sleptwalked through the, is that a word? They sleepwalked through the entire first half. And then they're like, oh, it's the second half. We'll just turn it on. And by then it was too late. This is an inexcusable performance, not just by Gardner Minshew, but by everybody on that roster in the first half, except maybe Josiah Scott.
Josiah Scott! Great Scott!
Never should have been thrown there. But anyway, the tempo was set for this game with the first drive of the game. The Saints get the football. They go 15 plays, almost 9 minutes off the clock. Everyone knows what, hey, at least in Eagle loss, we see kind of a template of what it's going to take. Control the clock, control the ball. You look at New Orleans had the ball for 36 minutes or 24 minutes. But that first drive is when your defense has to come out. This is a team that we counted on the defense with Jalen out was going to shut down the Saints. Andy Dalton was brutal as well. He stands in that pocket like a statue, and we allowed him to complete pass down the field. Although once again, we did get our sack total. But the tempo was set at that first drive. We were lackluster to start the game. We were lackluster through the first half. We mounted a rally in the second half, but you can't play 30 minutes of football and expect to win.
Yeah,
it's simple.
I don't know what they thought. I don't know what they thought was going to happen, Barrett. I mean, you know, they did not leave it on the field. That's for sure.
Well, it's not that they didn't leave it on the field. They didn't show up for the first half. Did somebody tell them that they were playing in a game in the first half? Because I didn't see anybody giving maximum effort to go out there and win a game.
I love it.
You can tell the Saints went out and set the tempo early. We're going to hit you in the mouth. We're going to make you like it. And instead of responding like we've seen the Eagles respond in the first half of the year, they let them do it. They let them take this game from them. I've never seen and been so disappointed in play calling, number one, because I don't know what they were calling on defense or offense in the beginning of the game. I didn't see the effort from players, not saying that they were jogging around, but there wasn't a sense of purpose and demeanor in which they were out there. The Saints brought that demeanor and that intensity to the Saints. Game. So, I mean, is this a team that think they're so good that they can just walk on the field and think they can just do what they want to do?
Yes. The way they played today, it seemed like we show up, we got to win. Yeah. It doesn't work that way. This is the National Football League. Every player plays his heart out. The Eagles, in that first half, one of the teams that I recognize defensively.
I did see him step up in the second half.
Yep, no doubt.
They came out and ball, but still. It's got to be 4 quarters. This is playoff football. This is when you go out there and you start jockeying for position to get to the Super Bowl. These guys haven't got the memo. Maybe they need to go back to sleep, wake back up, and now say, all right, it's time to play.
And where was the run game? Can I just ask you that with 2 rushes by Miles Sanders? 2.
They didn't have any plays in the first half, and they were in these third and longs. But here's the thing for me. You know, this team played like it believed its press clippings. Yeah. Everyone's been talking about them as the best team in the NFC, best team in the league. And they went out, like you just said, they went out and played like if they just showed up, the Saints were going to roll over for them. And maybe it's a lesson they had to learn. They're always talking about one snap at a time, one game at a time, one rep at a time. Maybe they got to start thinking about that and believing it because they did not play with that kind of.
Hearing what some of the players are going to say, what was said at half. All of a sudden they came out, and it was a mano on a mano, duo block, knocking them off the ball. Went right down the field. Set up play action game. Everyone's like, hey, I'll guarantee at halftime, those linemen were saying, Put it on our back. Put it on our back. We'll take this team down the field. Where was that in the first half? Where was the running game in the first half? We sit and watch almost every. This is a great running football team, yet they don't depend on the run. Sometimes you get into the shiny
Does that sound
object
familiar?
once again. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, the shiny object gets in the way of good, sound, fundamental, basic football blocking and tackling.
All right, speaking of good, sound, fundamental football, we were talking about this, and I'm sure all of you at home, as you're watching the game, the 4th and 1 in the fourth quarter. And we might argue about this till the cows come home, because I know not saying what you three are thinking, but I was surprised at that play selection. They needed that first down. It could have resulted in a touchdown had they continued the drive. We don't know, and we'll never know. But on 4th down, when you put Gardner, I don't care who you're putting behind that line. When you got Jalen Hurts behind that line, you got a guy who can bench press 600 pounds. That's not the case with Gardner Minshew. I don't care about the beef that they have up front.
Well,
you see what the Saints
so
did.
successful in those plays.
On.
Because of their
they
defense.
Can't do that. That's a dumb play.
What would you have called?
I would have called either a run off tackle, or I would have called some kind of play action, and all they needed was a couple of inches.
Have you seen him throw the football?
Are you kidding me? He's a
Michael,
starter in the NFL.
By far, he didn't look like
be
one.
a starter.
He didn't look like one.
I love it.
By far, their best statistical chance of converting a 4th and this much was a keeper.
Was a keeper by Gardner Minshew? I'll
Yes.
give you Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts is the guy who helps you make that.
Dickerson, Kelsey, and Sayamalo there, that's the play. He just didn't execute.
Well,
They just
yeah,
didn't get
that's
it
he
done.
didn't execute. You know why he didn't execute? You got to give me more effort at the point of attack.
Absolutely.
He's got to drive his legs.
Who's got to drive?
Gardner Minshew.
Thank you.
Fight, scratch, claw, push forward, whatever it takes. It seemed like he got there and just stood there. Like
I'm loving being a Cowboy fan this morning.
No, you got to be. It's got to be all ass and all legs, pushing off the ball.
It's got to be all ass.
He didn't have any drive in his legs, nothing. You got to play like this is a necessity. It's a priority. Like it means something to you. I didn't see that from him. I need more of that from all the players right now, because we're at a point right now that we're going to end up playing a game, another 2 games in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're going to play a game in the next 2 weeks.
This bye week's going to go bye-bye. There's no bye week.
I'm not even thinking about bye week no more. We got to do it the hard way now. We got to go in and play every single game, all 3 games. I want a Super Bowl that way. They're going to have to do it, because they right now are not doing anything to show me that they want a bye week.
And maybe we'll be laughing about this in a month's time, saying, hey, that was, remember how worried we are? But guess what? We're not laughing now.
We're not laughing.
The important thing is they've got to get that #1 seed. They don't want to be the also
Forget the
Rams.
#1 seed.
I'm not forgetting the #1 seed.
We'll be
No.
We'll do it the hard way.
I'm not that
We want to do it the hard way.
Watch what you're saying here. Be careful.
I did it the hard way.
Here's the
I won every
interesting
single
thing.
game.
I remember that team.
And at this point, they need to do this thing, because right now they're not playing basic fundamental football.
That was a team. Your team.
Oh,
was a
I could
team
do
that
this
came
for
out
hours,
at
but I got to get on the
season
road.
And really showed itself to be a Super Bowl champion-worthy team. This team's doing the opposite.
Let's not get caught up in the emotion of the moment.
What are you talking about?
I love it. They're going off on him.
Let's host the show.
Oh, my God.
Giants by beating the Colts, the Giants are locked into the 6th seed. So now the Giants don't have to play their.
All right, we can end it right there, because I've actually got to get up to Delaware, and I've got a floor that we're putting down. I've got over the next 3 days, and get back and get ready for our tailgate. Again, if you have any questions on the tailgate, email me, cowboysmark94@gmail. I'll do the best I can to get back to you as quick as possible, so that way we can get this party started this weekend. The Cowboys have something to play for. We are them boys, and I am enjoying every minute of the Eagles getting slaughtered. The all-star team, oh my goodness. I really want to know, where is Shady McCoy? Shady, ass. Could it be that Shady McCoy brought this down on the Eagles? I'm going to have more on that later on. And I will have some more of the Philly meltdowns from yesterday. I forgot how much I missed seeing little old Philly, whining and crying and losing it about his team. All right, good people. I hope you have a great day. It's going to be a wonderful one for me. I've actually driving to Delaware with an Eagle fan in the car. And I may do a little singing. Oh, when the Saints kick that Eagle ass. Oh, when the Saints kick that Eagle ass. I want to be in that number when the Saints kick that Eagle ass.
Our Colts here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the show for the Sports Report.
One hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to